Hello guys, Danger Zones here, and I'm going to try and show you today how to take a Sims 4 character from your Sims 4 game and move it onto VRChat, which requires Sims 4 Ripper and Blender. In my case, I'm using Blender 4.5, and I can leave in the link in the description. Sims 4 Ripper, this one is 3.14.2.9 just for this current release, and I am also using the Cat's Blender plugin unofficial for 4.5, just so there is some information there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Sims Ripper, which I already have installed, and then I'm going to find the save that I have that I want in here. So I have save D. So I would open up this one, and then you want to find your character. In my case, I'm going to look for first name because I'm looking for myself. And then I would just look for the letter M until I find myself. It takes a minute for it to load. Doop doop doo. Should load though. There we go. So I don't know how to do this with clear textured things like glasses, so I removed them to make the eyes more visible, but I already have this outfit, so I already prepared another one I could use. Party. So it'll load this one. And while it loads this one, I'm going to recommend clicking on clean day AE meshes and do high quality textures. RGB is good, and then once you have the one you want, the outfit, I don't know why, I don't think anything else here is super important to mess with unless you're going to figure out how to get glasses. But I'm just going to save this .ae file, and then I already have a folder for Sims 4 model, so I'm just going to call this Matthew model party. And then we'll save this .ae file. And I should be able to go into here now. And then I have Matthew model party. And I have Matthew model .ae. Well, this one's in the Matthew model party. So that should work fine. And then we close this. And then we go into Blender. And then just click on General. And then click on the delete key. And then you should have in your preferences on here add-ons, unofficial Cat's Blender plugin, which I added already. I don't think you need MDD tools for this. as there is some basic MDD tools inside the unofficial Cats Blender plugin. Once you have that there, for some reason it always hides this for me, but right here there's a toolbar and there's cats, and I can import model from my thing. So I can go in arts and videos, programs, VRChat stuff, APIs, and I can find the one I'm looking for. So party, import model, and it will come in and it will look like this. And then all you have to do to fix this is to press Z on the keyboard and go material preview. And then the next thing I recommend doing is clicking down on the side here, clicking on the object, and then you want to go into edit mode where you see all the vertices, and then I believe it's Alt M. No, it's not Alt M, it's Control M, Shift M. I think I'm just being really dumb. I think it's literally just M. Yeah, merge by distance. And then it says that, but we're gonna go into here and then -10 and click enter. And then it'll still say that. Merge by distance again. Just do it anyways. Alright, so this doesn't matter. Even though that says it didn't do anything, I'm going to move on with my life. Go into MDD options, and then we're going to fix the model. And now he has proper bone structure. Remove rigid bodies. So we can keep twist bones, keep end bones. None of that really matters. Custom model creation, optimization, materials, join meshes, join all, meshes, bones, merge ratio, merge bones, twist, connect bones, that doesn't matter. We want to go into start pose mode and then right click onto the one that you have if you set it up that way in Blender to select things. Whoa. I actually don't know what bone I just clicked. There we go. There we go. So you want to have him in a T pose. So as much as you can get him in a T pose. So that's good. And then you want to get the other arm. Do that. And then apply as rest pose. That way, that's easier to work with. I would suggest going back down into here, fixing the model again. Click remove rigid bodies and joints. Again, eye tracking. And then in here, you want to go into here. So left eye is IL. And then you want to look for I write. Here it is. And then rotate the icons. Voice mimes. There is no voice mimes. I don't think there can be any. So I don't know if anyone can create them, or I think you can individually go and make them. I'm not gonna go and do that. And then I'm just going to export this as an FBX. And then I'm going to go and save it into my Sims 4 model. Matthew Party. FBX. Export the FBX. And then I'm just gonna go in here, file, save as, and then I'll just go in here, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just gonna close this. And then we're going to open up VRChat Creator Companion. Very useful thing. So I already have a project, Sims 4 model new. We're going to open up a new project. You can go with 2022 VRChat avatar projects. I'm going to call this one Party Sims 4. And it's going to save it in my AVI, so that's fine. And we're going to create this project. Update anything that needs to be updated. Version conflicts. Yep. Just update anything that needs to be updated. And then I personally like adding like some of these other things, but they're not really needed for this. So you can just open up the project. And it might take a minute for this to load. But everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Happy boy. Normal boy. Yo. Pride boy. Yo. 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 Still loading. Love this. Love this for myself. I think I have like short keys. Yeah. I forgot I had these set up. Yo. Yo. All right. I'm gonna pause the video so I can log in. Yo. Alright. So now we have this. And what we want to do with this is we're going to take our FBX file. That's our 3D object file. So I'm going to take that. And we're going to put that in there along with these 3 pictures. These go into here. I recommend putting these in here first if you don't want to look at something that looks like you messed up. And then we'll take this and we'll put this in here too. And then we'll close this. And what we'll want to do is we'll click on this here. Go onto the inspector tab where it says rig. Change it to humanoid. Create from this model. And then click apply. Because what that does is it gives it an animation which VRChat needs. An animation descriptor. And I can add one to this. So what I can do is I can put this in here now. Give it an avatar descriptor. And then just auto-fix everything that you see that needs to be auto-fixed. Auto-fix. Just auto-fix all of that. And you don't have to worry about this. It says this, but it's fine. I don't really know why. I already checked. But you can go into here. And then where it says avatar descriptor, it says view. See this white dot here? That is your viewpoint. So what we want to do is we want to edit this. And we want to pull this up and put it right in between the eyes. Pretty much where we want it. Like right here. Not too inside of it, but right there. And then we'll click on return. So that's the view. And then lip sync. I'm going to change this from default to jawbone flap. And then you're going to go into here and find jaw. Double click that. If it will apply. I'm looking for it to apply. There we go. So I can preview it closed. That's fine. And then preview it open. I'm going to grab this red line and open it really, really wide. I know that sounds really stupid, but if you don't open it wide enough, you won't open his mouth far enough when you talk. So now we can preview this. And then we got eye look, and we want to enable eye look. And what I did is I did excited and shy, both up 1 peg, down 1 peg. And you want to go into your eyes, left eye, right eye. Now this is going to look really, really weird probably. And I might need to change the size of the eyes if it looks really weird. But what we do now is we have to change the orientation of these. So have them like this. And I don't know why it's like that personally, but should be fine like this. Okay, there we go. So his eyes are fine. He's looking straight now. So I can preview that. Looking straight. Preview looking up. And get them like this. And then rotate them back around. If I can successfully grab it and rotate them around, that would be nice. Okay. And then now that he's looking this way, we can up a bit. And then click return. Looking down, preview. That. Switch his eyes. Okay, I'm gonna reset this. If you mess up, just click on 0 or something. So, yeah, like that. And then I'll just... I don't know why this is sticky. Honestly, I don't know why anything has to act like this. There we go. And then just make them look down. And then look to the left. I honestly don't know how I did this before, so I'm gonna go like this. Back up. Okay. And then you want to look to the left. And preview. However, I did this before. That. Roll them up. And then look to the right. And then you got eyelid types. We have bones. So we have upper eyelid. Let's see. So we have low lid. And we have up lid. So left up lid. Upper right lid will be lower down. Up right lid. And then bottom right lid. Where did it go? There it is. Right eyelid. Okay, cool. So now that's set up like that. Gliders. You can customize your expressions if you want. I think that's where you put your your expressions menu. If you have one of those, you can put Go Go Loco in there or something. But now that should be all set up and ready to go, just like this. So you can go back into here, and then you can build and test your avatar. I always recommend that. And then it will want you to save this. I'm gonna call it Sims 4. Save. And then I'll just compile everything. Bada bing, bada boom. So now I can find in the other section of my avatars list. So I can minimize this now. And I can just look for VRChat. And then I already have a avatar equipped. So this is just what I look like. Yay. So yeah. Change the device. Yo. So now when I talk, I should open my mouth. At least a bit. Alright, okay. And it's so hard to mess with this. Okay, so that should be a little more reactive. Okay. And then what I can do, now that I can actually show off that, is I can go into my avatars, go into avatar tests, Matthew Party, line. Okay, so as you can see from this example, the mouth does open. If you want more mouth movement, you might have to adjust it more. But overall, it does work, and it works better with VR. Obviously, I'm just using a controller, but enjoy.